Hey there, what do you say there, world? Welcome to the Races Recap as we recap Survivor. Amazing season of Survivor so far, right? Episode 3, I'm here by myself. So things are going to go a little different, probably going to go a lot faster. So I'm going to test a new format. If this format works well by myself, then I think it'll work really well when Mama C gets back next week. Obviously, because of personal reasons, things got shifted around this week. I do apologize. So Mama C is at a wedding. So she is getting her dance on right now, I'm sure. Getting some open bar. Let's see. Yeah, it's right about open bar time. All right, so welcome as we're going to get to the quick recap. The way I want to break it down, instead of going as the order that the show went in, I'm just going to break it down with challenges. Then we're going to talk about what happened on Ghost Island, overall gameplay and strategy, and Tribal Council. And then I want to get into like the moments that made the episode, the things that are really going to go down as things that are going to be remembered. This episode's going to be remembered for. I also got a segment called, and that's why you're not going to win. I think you're going to appreciate that one. And there's a couple people that could have been nominated for That's Why You're Not Going to Win this week, but I think there's one clear winner that stands out above everybody else. There's a segment, of course, the Standout Player of the Week, which to me didn't reveal itself till the very end. Everybody that's here, give it a like, a little thumbs up, a little hey there, a little subscribe. How's everybody going? Let me jump in the chat room over here. Sorry, it's a little solo today. It's a little off. I'm sure the majority of the people watching are going to be watching it later. So those in the live chat, hope all is well. Everything's all well. I'm sorry about the cryptic message, but just family. It was a family thing, and so far so good. So we're going to roll with that. Cool. After the Standout Player of the Week, we'll just talk about what's going on. Hey there, what do you say there, Nate? Patty hanging out in the chat room. So what'd you guys think? Overall episode, did you enjoy it? Episode 3, I'm sorry, my mouth's a little dry. I'm running around here. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so let's get into it. Episode 3, we're going to start with these challenges. Now, the one thing that really irks me about the Survivor challenges is I know that they've gotten, it's 36 seasons in, and trying to come up with new and original ideas is like, I get it, it's hard, but to continuously use this recipe gets irking to me. It's, all right, we're going to give you a little endurance. We're going to have a little something that you're going to have to do teamwork. Then we're going to have maybe a little skill. And then at the end, it's going to be a hard puzzle. So it really doesn't matter what you did the whole way. It's just going to come down to the puzzle every single time. And I hate that that's what it's gotten reduced to on the majority of these challenges. So when the challenges are different than that, that's when it starts to perk my eye. Like, I like those challenges when they had the slingshots and then they were swinging it to their team and their teammates had to jump and catch it with each other. And I love that type of stuff where you got to use strategy and you got to use teamwork rather than just coming down to, all right, we're going to use a little strength, we're going to use a little this. So everything is totally balanced and balance and balance. You try to balance everything so much, it just gets boring to me. That's what I'm talking about, Patty. I mean, Patty's over here agreeing with me. So they were getting a little immunity and a reward for the tarp. I was like, ooh, everybody's getting a tarp. So more luxury for one tribe and a little bit of luxury for the other, as we could see that's going to be a big deal later, as everybody wants to talk about. So why is that? Let me ask you. Hey, what's up, Tim? Let me ask you a question. Why is this super fit guy, James, you look at him, he looks like he could be an athlete on American Ninja Warrior. He looks like he could be, he's so in shape, he's smart, he's good looking, and then he gets into these challenges and he's just terrible. It's not just one challenge either. It's like back-to-back terrible challenges. I don't get it. So I have a strategy, or I have an idea, and I got to ask you guys, do you think he's faking it? Do you think he's faking that he's not good at these challenges so nobody sees him as a threat? Is he that smart? Is he really that smart to possibly be faking it? I hope he is. I really do. Because if not, he's just getting, it's like, come on, man. All right, so as we see, Wendell and Desiree are terrible at puzzles whenever it comes down to it, but Wendell can definitely build the heck out of some furniture, as you can see when you go back to them, go back to the Manolo tribe is all upset because when you leave luxury and you go to, after a tribe swap, what's going on? He's a college track athlete. Oh. A college track athlete who couldn't do the jumping from wood to wood. I mean, that seems like it's made for a track athlete. Like, whoo, it's like a perfect track type of thing, almost like hurdle-like. No? Madison says he was a track athlete, but that doesn't. I mean, he should still be great at these challenges. He should know how endurance. He should understand adrenaline, how to control adrenaline, which is the hardest thing in the world to do on these challenges, is control adrenaline. So for somebody who's a track athlete, that should be an advantage for him to control that adrenaline and understand how to release it at the right times to preserve the endurance. But I don't know, whatever. He seems to be terrible at these challenges. I hope he gets better. I hope it's a strategy. I hope he's playing it low, and then when people don't see him as a threat, he just comes up and just steps up. And, you know, he may be sandbagging it, like you said. Sandbagging it, could be doing it. All right, so Ghost Island. Hey, let's talk a little bit about Ghost Island, because this is one of the things that irked me about the episode, is when people decide to draw rocks to let rocks decide their fate. Now, obviously, they talked about it, and Jeff had to say it had to be a unanimous decision for the tribe that won, and because the tribes had just did a nice tribe swap, there's no way that they're going to come to an agreement to send somebody from the opposite tribe. So I understand why. So I think it's more of a poor setup from the producer's standpoint. Like, you just made a tribal swap. You know, there's no way in the world that they're going to come to a unanimous decision in 1 or 2 days. So I think it's crazy. So they had to do a nice little tribe swap. The old Navidi and the Lolo tribes, they just stick to their alliances, and they can't come to an agreement. So what are you going to do? So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, Chris got saved, because it sounds like Chris was probably the target to go home, and that could have been disastrous for his game. So he wound up going to Ghost Island. I think it saves himself from being voted out. What do you guys think? He saved himself from being voted out, or did they have the numbers anyway? Or do you think he had the numbers? But let's get to Ghost Island while you guys send it. There's a little delay. So while you guys send it, he smashes the urn, and unfortunately, there's nothing cool on the island. And because there's nothing cool, I think Chris is upset. He starts to cry. He breaks down. He starts missing his family. I mean, obviously, you know, I have no problem with crying on national television and being alone and missing your family. Obviously, if I miss Diana, that's my weak spot. If I could somehow be rough and tough and not think about Diana, I think I could do it without crying. But I don't see myself not being able to think of her if I'm alone on an island somewhere, or think of all of our amazing trips and all the places we've been, and I would cry like a baby. So I get it, but I don't know if that looked great for Chris and the tough guy role that he's trying to play when he gets back to camp. So yeah, you guys agree that you think he's gotten saved? Nobody likes Chris. He's too bossy. Yes, I hate the way that he talks to people. I hate that Chris's gameplay, he forces his opinion on everybody. It's not. So if I get murdered, at least it's on tape. Somebody's breaking into my house because Cooper's going crazy. So that's okay, because I'm dedicated to you people and my fans that watch the Racers Recap and tell other people on social media to watch the Racers Recap. So this could be the last one. So you might want to like share this one or subscribe before everybody else, because if I'm live and I get murdered, then it's like, what? I get a lot of views, right? Get money for Diana, that YouTube money. Instead of $30, I can make like $300 and I can go to Diana. You never know. Sounds like Cooper is quiet, so it's been nice knowing you guys. I'll try to continue. All right, so Chris breaks down on Ghost Island. Somebody's coming. All right, so Dominic is talking gameplay, and the first thing that Dominic talks about, he's talking about, let's get Chris out. I need to get Chris out. I have to get Chris out. I have to get Chris out. And obviously, the first thing that happens is Chris goes to Ghost Island, so we can't get Chris out. Sebastian, we find out, is a banana-flavored Laffy Taffy. If anybody understands what that means, to be a banana-flavored Laffy Taffy, I would love and appreciate you filling me in. What the hell is the reference? I get it. I've tasted a banana-flavored Laffy Taffy. They're the worst. But I don't get the reference. So I might die right now. If that's not Diana, then somebody just broke in the house. So that's been nice knowing you. Is that you, babe? Okay, cool. All right, so I'm not going to die. That's Diana. All right, so Chris forces his opinion on everybody, and he doesn't know how to play that well. So he's trying to force his opinion, and when you can obviously see that the things that he's saying are not going to work out, it's pretty tough. You just become, yeah, okay, yeah. And as soon as he walks away, you talk about him. And that becomes a little self-awareness. And if he doesn't pick up his self-awareness, then it's going to be not a long wait for him. So Chris tells Angela about Dominic's idol and that he needs to go. That's it. So I'm telling you, I gave you information, and now that I gave you information, that you're going to have to listen to me, so he's going to have to go, because I gave this information. You know what I'm saying? So if I said it, then that's the way it's going to be, because that's the way Chris is. So Steph and Jenna, the first thing they do, they see themselves alone. They're like, well, let me go search for an idol. And they're running around barefoot in bikinis, climbing up trees, diving in bushes, looking for an idol. And as soon as they're over there looking for idols, it kind of forms into the old Manolo Four are all clumped up together, and I guess in groups of two, because Michael finds the idol and Brendan's not far behind, so Michael's trying to hide it, but Brendan saw, so Brandon saw, so he came over and he's like, oh my God, it's the old idol, but it turns out to be like the biggest idol in the face of the earth, so I don't know how you hide that thing. Thank you very much, Patty. I really appreciate that. It's pretty awesome. So I don't know how you're gonna hide that thing. It's the biggest idol in the history of idols. So Libby was sticking with Morgan, and because they're both Catholics, we learned that. Morgan is sticking with Dominic. We'll find out how long that's gonna last. Appreciate it, guys. So Patty said she wishes Dominic would have left the fake idol for Manolo tribe member to find, thinking it's the real idol, lulling them into. Yeah, that would have been cool if he, instead of showing off a fake idol with the real stuff, that if he would have took the fake idol with the real clue directions, idol directions, wrap that up and hit it and let somebody else find that. See, I think that would have been such a better and smart gameplay. So I definitely agree with you, Patty, that's 100% would have been so cool. Hide the fake idol with the real directions, and it's so much more believable if, we let somebody find it and play it. I think that would have been so cool, too. And it would have definitely been an iconic moment in Survivor history for somebody to do that, right? Such an iconic moment. Like, it'll never be forgotten. You go down in Survivor history after 36 seasons, you're going to be remembered. And that's hard to do, because it's a lot of people on Survivor every season. In 36 seasons, there's a lot of people that get forgotten. That stinks. But super fans like us go back and rewatch old seasons. We watch it 2 and 3 times. So we all know. And that's why we share podcasts like this, so we can help spread the love for great shows like Survivor. All right, I got to stop putting my water there. Obviously, it sounds like crap. All right, so let's get to Tribal Council. So obviously, it sounds like we're going to stick 4-4 right down Tribal Council lines because there's all 4 old Manolos, and then you find them, and it doesn't really work out that way. It starts off to talk, and Jeff is like, hey, it's obvious, 4 people, we're going to go right down the lines, we're going to draw rocks. And Dominic is the first one to step up and say, hey, ooh, I don't want to draw rocks. I want to play the game. I don't want to draw rocks. I agree that you don't want to draw rocks, but do you want to start drama right at Tribal Council? It seems to be working for him, I guess, in the short term. Yeah. So if you watch him, he sits there and he's like he wants to draw. He doesn't want to draw rocks. He wants to play the game. So that it opens the door for other people. When you got people like Morgan, aka Little Parvati. Doesn't she look like Parvati a little bit, like from a side angle? Parvati's younger sister, I guess, or adopted sister. I don't know. All right, so Morgan is out there and she can't believe what's about to happen as boom, James, Laurel, Donathan, and the innocent little blonde Libby vote Morgan out. And this is where Libby steps up and plays the game where they don't show it too much at camp playing, but it seems like she had a vital role in what went down here. So I hope they kind of rewind a little bit and show us, or in the extra clips, I got to go back and watch some more of the extra clips and show us her gameplay and what led to Libby making this decision and making such a vital move in the game. So what do you guys think it is, Tim, Mike? Someone else that, yes. All right, Mike, you see, she does look a little bit like Parvati. And especially, I mean, when you're watching Survivor, she's an iconic player. And then when you start to see people who kind of resemble other people, you're like, oh my God, that looks just like them. Because casting does the same things over and over because they see what works and they try to cast things that work. Makes sense? All right, so Dominic can't believe it. He's blatantly like, holy cow, what just happened over here? I don't even know what's going on. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. You clearly see it. And then looks at Libby, and she says the words, don't trust the cute blondes. Like 5 seconds before, she's like, how could you not trust such a cute, innocent little face? And then she gets voted out, and she don't trust the cute blondes. And I agree. I mean, just because you're cute, that doesn't mean you're innocent. Sometimes it's the opposite. Because you're cute, you've had to deal with a lot of different scenarios, so you become a little jaded about the things, and you're not as innocent as people who haven't been involved in those scenarios. So it looks like that it wasn't her game, it wasn't her day, so Morgan is gone very early in the game. I was hoping she would last a little longer because she did. At least she was one of the people who wanted to play. She wanted to play. What do you say there, Trap? Is it Trap? All right, so let's get to some moments of the episode, some moments that will obviously be remembered. The tribal switch that came right at the beginning of the season, which is, we love that. You get right to the heart of it. You're like, boom, all right, you have these alliances, immediately switch. Now, the one thing that irks me about that immediate tribal switch, Diana noticed it as well, it seemed to work out pretty even. How come it wasn't like one tribe just got 8 members of their original tribe, and you know, instead of it's like almost completely even on both sides? And you obviously see that they picked it so it was random, but it just stinks. That I would love that there would be a clear advantage, and you see a clear advantage, but when it's too even like that, then the gameplay becomes so stale and predictable. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So Malolo's beach is a dump, and everybody knows it, and people are like, oh, yeah. And Malolo, they take it to heart. They're like, this is our beach. Obviously, we didn't get all the building utilities that you guys had. You guys had axes, and you had hammers and nails, and you had people who built furniture, and you had somebody who worked construction. And then you come to our beach, we didn't have any of those things, and you're like, our beach is a dump. This beach over here is a dump. The other place is amazing. I mean, the place, you got amazing view. We got amazing things. This place here is a dump. It's a dump. What is this? I keep hitting this. Gotta move it again. Spring. You don't want to hit the spring. All right, place is a dump. So what? Yeah, there were 2 baskets, one for men, one for the women, to make sure the gender was split. That was the only thing to make sure of. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the information. So that makes sense that if you want to keep the gender split balance, I'm okay with that. So there's not one team dominated by males and one team dominated by females. So it makes things lopsided when it comes to certain aspects of Survivor. So Dominic, you over here looking at Dominic. But the big thing is that the Navides luxuries, are they due to Wendell and his amazing skills? Are they due more to the construction of the team, or is it just because they had the utilities? I think Wendell has a lot of those attributes at home. At the camp, he does a lot of things around the camp, and he's going to be found to be useful until a certain point when they're like, you know what, there's a new kid, doesn't have to build anything else at this point. We'll see how that comes into play because of his gameplay a little bit later. So Michael finds James Survivor Channel idol, which is obviously huge. Now, when Michael finds the biggest idol, he's like, "Oh, this is the idol," but this idol is a big square block that looks like an iPad size. And but this idol seems to be coming into play later in the after the episode, the previews for the next episode, which we'll get to. So Michael is ready to play. He's the youngest person here, but it seems like he's really came to play the game, which I love. If he obviously couldn't be a Survivor fan for the past 20 years because he hasn't been around for 20 years. So it's great that somebody that young at least did their homework to know how to play the game and not just jump in and be scared and sit back but want to play as hard as he's playing. So I appreciate that about Michael. Now, Chris is talking about his mom. I think this is going to be an episode, one of the moments that you always remember about this episode, Chris breaking down on the island, talking about his mom, having MS, crying, because you don't really see that side of him too much. He seems to be bossy, which people don't like about him, but at least this is going to try to balance out who he is, because people are more than just their mean side. They do highlight those things because those things are few and far between. So I give him another chance if he can make it through another week, but we'll see. He has to win me over with more than a story. I can appreciate him being sad about his mom as MS, obviously. All right, so let's another moment that's going to be remembered is Dominic. It's Dominic getting the legacy idol from Morgan. This legacy idol seems to be cursed. It doesn't seem to be a great advantage yet, so maybe Dominic can use it at the right time. Well, you only have 1 or 2 chances to use it, so it comes down to luck, I guess. So I don't think it's that big of an advantage. So Wendell and Dom were on Navidi tribe, the purple tribe, and then they lost the reward for hammers and nails, but they had the better camp than Manolo. Oh, are you sure? Are you sure they didn't have the luxuries, but they still had the better camp? Survivor started 18 years ago, March 2000. So that was the year he was born, I think was in 2000. So that was great. The year he was born, Survivor started. That's so crazy. All right. So let me get to this feature that I call, and that's why you're not going to win. All right. This is why you're not going to win. Dominic, I'm sorry, Dominic. You're not going to win because this fake idol explanation that nobody's buying, you brought everybody over. You're like, check this out. All right. I know he's talking like I got this idol, but I showed him this fake idol. Check it out. Oh, my God. And it's not even in the paper that it's wrapped in. Oh, my God. He doesn't even. It's old tree mail. Oh, nobody's believing it. Nobody's believing it because he tried too hard. So, Dominic, that's why you're not going to win because you tried too hard. Nobody's buying it. And then you topped it off. You put the icing on the cake with, I swear on my children. I swear on my children. Right? I swear on my children. We'll see how it goes. Patty said, the legacy advantage saved Sarah in Game Changers, and that's how Sari got taken out with no votes. So it's not 100% cursed. It's just a little bit cursed. But all of these, everything on this Ghost Island is cursed in one way or another. So we'll see if we can lift those curses. So I don't know if it's going to be able to be lifted at this point in the game with at least the legacy idol. We'll see how the other idols in play will be used because I think those can be really interesting. All right, so my standout player of the week for me didn't really stand out until the very end because I'm really wondering what happened with Libby. I want to know why she was so undercover with her gameplay, or at least the producers edited it that she became some like undercover gameplay, and I guess it's going to all play out next week, but I appreciate Libby pulling the trigger at the right time to blindside so early in the game. I loved it. Good for you, Libby. I'm going to be keeping my eye out more now and paying attention when I have to go back and rewatch the episode again and have to watch it and see if they showed anything, especially the extra clips. So that's going to be interesting. Malolo won the shelter, building tools, and the challenges on the beach. Thanks, Mike. Good confirmation. That's what we're talking about. That's why I need Mama C to balance things out for me. I can't remember everything. I get all crazy sometimes. All right, so next week we're gonna have lots of idol talk. Dominic with Wendell, then Dominic with Laurel, trying to both talk about. Listen, we need to do some gameplay. But then I see something really impressive. Michael wants something to happen. He's like, I want something to happen, and he's talking, I think, with Stephanie, Brendan, and Jenna. They're out on the beach, and people are crying. So there's a lot of things that will be going on next week, which seem to be very interesting. But I think that this Michael ready to play early. I hope that he has the endurance to maintain this, but I don't know. Sometimes when you play too hard too early, it catches up with you. And Dominic's the same way. I mean, he's been playing hard since day one. Sometimes it can catch up with you. Sometimes you can take control of the game. So I don't know if Dominic has the smarts to do that. You got to watch some James Extra video where he explains more on the decision to vote out Morgan. Okay, I got to go back and watch all those. I didn't have a chance because of some of the personal things that were happening, so I wasn't as prepared as normal. So I do appreciate you guys chiming in there and filling us in. You want to know how close Libby was with Morgan, because it was Morgan really narrating the relationship. Yeah, so maybe we can go back and watch more of the bonus clips and see, now that we know how to play it out. And if you know that going in, you might be able to pick up on some other things on videos that you watched earlier. So Patty thinks Chelsea's the dark horse. Caleb thinks she's gotten 0 screen time. That's kind of sad. So there's a lot of things that I appreciate or don't appreciate, because there's so many people on Survivor that it's hard to get everybody's story in, especially in 2 or 3 episodes that they've had. So somebody's going to get left out. So they got to have the storylines that play out with the people that are going to get voted out. So those are the storylines that are going to get the majority of the play. And the overall gameplay, that the long-term gameplays that are going to be in the game longer, may not get some play in the edits early, which kind of stinks. But the good thing about Survivor is they do a lot of extra bonus clips. They do the Ponderosas. They do a lot of that stuff on their YouTube page or the CBS All Access. So you got to definitely check those out. And I got to do catching up. I got to do some catching up with that as well. So who are some people that really impressed you? I really like Donathan. I do like him a lot. I think he needs to step up. I don't know if he has a chance at winning the game. I think he has to have this dark side. He needs to be a little tough at certain points and make some strategic gameplay decisions that may go against some personal beliefs. So we'll see. I don't think he has a chance at winning. I'm really starting to enjoy Libby. I'm not going to make a pick until after next week, because I want to see Michael. I'm starting to enjoy Michael's ability to make some decisions. We'll see if he has the long-term abilities to stay in this game. I don't think so, but we'll see. Mike, what do you think? You don't think it would be wise for Libby to vote against James, Laurel, and Donathan to save Morgan? You think join forces with Morgan, Dominic, and Wendell? We'll see. Stephanie Johnson is good. So there's a lot of decisions that we need to be making. I need you guys, if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, next week Mama C will be back. And we will also have a special guest from a previous season of Survivor starting next week, and then every week after that as well, as we continue on here. Again, sorry for the mix-up with the days. It threw everything off. I do appreciate you guys hanging out. If you have any questions or comments, throw them up before we get on out of here with the Races recap. If you guys want to check it out, we post comments on Reddit. I don't know if you guys are hanging out on Reddit. We also post comments on the Facebook forums. We always try to communicate with the fans, and you can always reach out with the hashtag Races Recap on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or wherever. I kind of have alerts for all the hashtags, so I don't miss you guys' questions. For next week's episode, I do live tweet with the episodes, so I would love it if you guys want to communicate or hang out with the live tweets. You just use the hashtag Races Recap. Again, it pops up on my screen. I'll give you a little shout out during the week, and we'll get some fun going during the episodes, which I get really raw and emotional, and I have less of a filter than I do on this episode, because I can tend to meet the people from Survivor, and I don't want to be too harsh. But when I'm live tweeting, I just kind of go off emotion. So it's at Justin Classic One if you want to follow along on that, and use the hashtag Races Recap. All right, I do appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out. Thank you for spending some of your day with me. I told you I was going to try to keep it to a half hour. I think that's perfect. That is the Races Recap of Ghost Island episode 3. See you on White Rice Wednesday.